my router, it just goes, no, I can't do it. So, fingers crossed. I'm just going to quickly put it on Instagram that I'm here. Doing a little YouNow, come and join me. Right, what's the address to this place? YouNow.com/Carrie H. Fletcher. That is me. Okay, hang on. Done. My hair looks absolutely mental. Had it cut today. Thank you, Anya H. I had my hair cut today. And this is the result. Can't quite figure out where the parting is. Where does it want to go? That way? Or that way? That way? I mean, that's special, isn't it? Look at that perfect little that little triangle there. Look at that. It will calm down by tomorrow. It's just been cut, so it's just going, wow! It feels very quiet in here and I don't like it. Okay, Google. Play.
Nothing's playing at the moment.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't know what I was going to say. Oh, okay, Google. Play acoustic music.
All right. Here's the Spotify playlist called Acoustic Covers.
This'll do. Just seemed a bit quiet. Thank you, LEC.
It's too hard to sleep.
Oh, I don't want people singing.
I've got the sheets on the floor, nothing on me.
Okay, Google. Play chill out music. What? I look like Sideshow Bob. What is that?
Okay, here's the Spotify playlist called Chill Out Music.
Thank you, Anthony C. Okay, this will do. Don't know what this is, but it seems chill and quiet. Thank you, Amy Hawley. What is going on with my hair? Oh. I have seen you on Netflix and I binge watched it in about a day whilst I was packing. Obsessed. Actually obsessed. It's so good. Packing is happening. It's something. The packing's not going well, I'll be honest. I haven't done too badly. I need more boxes because I only had 10 boxes, and to get the entirety into 10 boxes, that was never going to happen. That was just not going to happen. So yeah, I need to get more boxes. I'm very excited though. I'm very, very excited to move next week. I move a week tomorrow. I get the keys a week tomorrow. I'll probably move on the Saturday. But I'm going to enlist all my family's help. This is still gin, but it's slow gin, which is why it's that colour. And I know it looks like there's rocks in the bottom of my drink. It's not. They're called whiskey stones. I actually bought them for an ex, and then they left them in my freezer, so they're mine now. But they're made of soapstone, I think it is, and they hold their temperature for longer than ice does, and they don't dilute, so they don't dilute your drink. Very clever. I got them from a shop in Amsterdam, actually. But yeah, these ones are called whiskey stones, but I don't really drink whiskey, so. Ollie is still doing panto. He is doing panto until Sunday. Where did I get my top? This top was H&M, I think, but my mum calls this my Star Trek uniform because it looks like it should have the Enterprise symbol there, and look like Captain Kirk. Thank you, Matilda B. That rainbow's cute. Yeah, I tried something new with my eyeshadow today. I tried a few different colours that I had in the palettes. I didn't do too badly, I don't think. I've been experimenting. Thank you, KCH. I've got an audition tomorrow, and I'm so rubbish at auditions. I'm a bit nervous. Oh my god. This is a good choice of music. I like this. This is funky and fun. Oh my god, my hair's driving me mad. Okay, that's the best I'm going to get, I reckon. Keep asking me questions, guys. I am still on Cameo, but I haven't made myself available for a little while just because it's been Christmas and I knew I wouldn't have time to get any done, so I didn't want to make myself available for them. But I will do at some point again because I've been raising money via Cameo for Papyrus, which is a charity for the prevention of young suicide. I know nothing about the Heathers cast recording. I am not the person to be asking, even though everyone does. I don't know anything about it. I'll probably know when you guys know. Do shows provide all of your costume, or do you need to bring in certain items? Big productions like Les Mis, Phantom, Heathers, all that kind of thing will provide costume. You don't have to worry about any of that. Smaller productions, sometimes if there's like a specific item that might be difficult to get, they might ask you if you have something similar to it, but it is not the actor's responsibility to find their costume in professional productions. Or it shouldn't be, at least. Favourite costume I've ever worn on stage? I loved my Toot Sweets costume from Chitty. Thank you, Matilda B. What was your favourite element of Veronica's costume? I love the stripy cuffs. The stripy cuffs were my fave because on Broadway, off-Broadway, in America, she had polka dot cuffs, and they changed it to stripes for the UK production, so it felt like a kind of like My Veronica type thing, so I loved having the stripy cuffs. And I also loved when I saw people cosplaying as Veronica when they came with stripy cuffs, because then I knew that they were like cosplaying as My Veronica, which I just felt was really cool. Jenny Sue, you said you saw me at the station. Where did you see me? Don't drink and scoot, it ain't no hoot. What's that? I get more nervous before an audition. Shows I don't really get nervous unless it's like the first show. Yeah, I don't really get nervous. But auditions, terrible. Oh, you asked Oliver about when he fell off his scooter and he came in the next day with a big chunk out of his hand. Thank you, Martha Newman. I'm starting to get pins and needles in my bum cheek. Ugh. Hopefully I'll be doing book signings this year. It just depends on what I'm doing and availability and that kind of thing, because it might not be possible, but we'll see what happens. Ugh, every now and again there's like a massive wave of questions. I need to start a new book. Which of yours should I read first? Probably On the Other Side. I mean, there's no like order to read my books in. Thank you, Rhiannon. But On the Other Side, I'd say. Why did you do your own makeup for Heathers? I get asked this so much. Most theatre shows have like one wiggy, maybe like Les Mis, for instance, had 2 or 3 wiggies and one makeup artist. All of the wiggies were sort of makeup too, but we had one like makeup artist who was proper makeup. And usually there are those makeup artists, there are obviously only one person or 2 people at most, and they can only look after a couple of people. But when you've got a cast of 30 people, all of whom need makeup, the actors have to figure out how to do it for themselves. And usually early on they'll get shown how to do it, and then they just learn how to do it for the duration of the run. But when you have characters like Les Mis, again, is the best example I have, like Les Mis, where you've got, or Addams Family, I guess. Addams Family, we had one wiggy and one makeup artist and a cast of 20, all of whom had extensive makeup. If you think about all of the ancestors with the white faces and the big eyes, and the Addams Family and like Grandma and Lurch, who all had to do like the aged makeup and that kind of thing. And then you've got one wiggy and one makeup artist. And it was one person. She was wiggy and makeup artist, and we had one person for the entirety of the tour. The actors have to figure out how to do it for themselves. And like I said, they'll get shown early on, but one person can't do 20 people's makeup in the half-hour call. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, Les Mis, Valjean, Thénardier, and Javert are the 3 that sort of got seen to for the makeup, because it was quite extensive. Maybe less so Thénardier, actually. It's probably more just Javert and Valjean. And Valjean ages during the show quite dramatically. So the makeup artist had to be with him through the entire show. Whereas the rest of us, it was pretty much just like Eponine, smoky eyes and mud. So, you know, that wasn't beyond my capabilities as an actress. What's the worst mistake you made on stage and how did you deal with it? I'm very lucky that I've never had any slip-ups that were too horrendous. I did fall over a small child. Everyone knows that story. And I fell over after a number when I was supposed to be going off stage anyway. And I fell over the child and I tried to, like, not hurt her when I fell, and I ended up hurting myself instead. But I just, like, picked her up and, like, bundled her off stage and threw her into the arms of a chaperone, like, I don't know if I've hurt her, check her over, ah! Because then I had to run off for another scene. So that was stressful. But I had another moment in Les Mis. Oh, I fell over in Les Mis quite badly and had awful bruises on my knees. And in Les Mis, I just forgot. I didn't forget the line. I just couldn't remember what the order of words were for the line. So I'm supposed to run on and sing, in my life, there's been no one like him anywhere where he is. If he asked, I'd be his. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. And I couldn't remember, and I was like, it's something to do with where. It's something to do with the word where. Where is in the sentence somewhere. And so I sang, in my life, there's been no one like him. And it's supposed to be anywhere where he is. And I went, where he is. Wherever he is. And just sort of tried to blag my way through it. And there was one time in Les Mis where I was singing the beginning of On My Own. I was supposed to sing a line, sometimes I walk alone at night when everybody else is sleeping. And I just convinced myself that that wasn't the right lyric, but I didn't have anything else to sing, so I sang it. I don't know, I just sang it really, and I was like, sometimes I walk alone now when everybody else is sleeping. And I got to the end and was like, yeah, that is the right lyric. But for the whole thing, I'd sort of half-heartedly sang it. Sometimes I walk alone now when everybody else is sleeping. Idiot. My audition tomorrow isn't for a musical, for the person asking what song am I singing tomorrow. It's not a musical. It's not for stage either, it's for TV. My first TV audition in a very, very long time. So, let's see how that goes. What's your opinion on the new production of Les Mis starting in the UK? It's the same production that I did in Dubai. So I've been in both productions, and I love the Revolve. I love the Revolve, and I was one of those people who was like, you can't have Les Mis without the Revolve because that's what Les Mis is, blah, blah, blah. And then I did the production in Dubai, and I was like, oh, this makes much more sense. And the staging of this is so much more convenient and clever. So I see why they're doing it, because it just, like, it's not even just taking the revolve out, it's also bits of the show that have changed slightly that just make really simple things so much clearer and so much cleverer. So yeah, I think it's a good move. I haven't seen Company yet, and I'm desperate to. I'm desperate to see Company. I think I've got a while to see it though. I didn't watch, or I'm not watching the BBC Les Mis version because the director made some very silly comments about how he thinks his TV show is much better than the awful musical version, and my loyalty is to the awful musical version, so I have absolutely zero interest in watching the TV version. I haven't seen Hadestown yet either, and I need to see it. Ugh. My friend Eve is in it, and I really want to see it. I wonder what that noise was, and I just remembered that I put some washing on. Oh, this is moving too fast. Thank you, Amy Hawley. Do you always write at home, or do you have any little go-to cafes that inspire you? I usually write at home, but I much prefer writing on the tube or on trains, which is handy for when I'm like travelling and stuff, just because I feel like there's less distraction. Although, not that I feel like there's less distraction, there just is less distraction, because I usually won't have internet on my laptop, so I can't be distracted by Twitter or social media or anything. I don't know, I like moving. I like that sort of like nice sort of therapeutic feeling of the train sort of juddering along. But not if I'm seated backwards. No, I really struggle when I'm going backwards. I'm headed to Wolverhampton tomorrow again to see the Panto one last time. To see Ollie. I'm mainly just going for City and Sweep, let's be honest. When did I last see Ollie? I last saw Ollie on the 2nd of January. So I've not seen him for a little while. Not seen him for about a week. Oh, dearie me. What's my best riff? I am not the best riffer on the planet. Riffing is not my strong suit at all. I find it quite difficult. I'm good if I like learn a riff, but I can't naturally just have a go at it and see what comes out, because what comes out will sound like you've run over a banjo. Can I floss? I think I can. Slowly. Let's give it a go. I mean, I've got half normal clothes, half pyjamas. Can I floss? Oh god, hang on. I'm actually just breaking things, which isn't there. How do you floss? What is it, that? Hey! I can't do it fast though. There we go. Ollie will be so proud. Oh my god, when I went to see the panto the other day, like, I say the other day, a week ago, maybe it was before, maybe it was the first time I saw it. The little boy, they bring up a little boy and a little girl near the end of the panto, just before the wedding, and they usually get one of them to do like an impression or something, or sing or do something, and Richard, the guy who looks after City and Sweep, was like, I hear that you can floss. And he was like, yeah, I can. And he stood up and he essentially just went like that. And it made me laugh so much. I found it so funny, bless his heart. He genuinely thought he was flossing and was having the best time ever doing it. Oh, it was so cute. Would I produce a show someday? I mean, I shouldn't be put in charge of human beings. I've said this. I've said this about directing as well. I just should not be put in charge of human beings. I fear for the day I have children. But yeah, I don't think directing or producing is my bag. Don't think I'd be any good at that. A cactus is pretty much all I can look after. And saying that, I think my one might be dead. So, you know. My hair's calmed down a little bit now, isn't it? She's behaving. Ooh. Let's clip my neck. What's been your funniest fan encounter? I've got so many stories. I've got so many stories that I feel like I probably shouldn't tell. I'm trying to think of an old one that doesn't really matter if I tell it now, because it doesn't matter. I got a tweet from when I was in Les Mis, I got a tweet from someone halfway through Act 1. So halfway through Act 1, I used to go... What scene would I finish? I'd finish... Where did I used to come off stage after that bit? I used to do the no, I don't want your money, sir. F-N-E, do this for me, discover where he lives. Be careful how you go, that bit. And he gives her the money. She runs off, and then it goes into ba-ba, 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 and it goes into the ABC Cafe. I used to go upstairs and sit in my dressing room for all of 3 minutes. I used to be up there for all of ABC Cafe, and then the beginning of Do You Hear the People Sing, and I used to run on for Do You Hear the People Sing. Thank you, Mads Harrison, thank you. So I used to sit and just sit in my dressing room for maybe like 5 minutes, and I'd just time to sort of like check Twitter, have a chat with the girls, and then go back downstairs again. And me and Celinda used to go back down together. And there was one day where I was sat there and I looked at my Twitter and I had a tweet from someone saying, I've come all the way from America, can you come down to stage door? And I looked out my window and there was a girl at stage door with her phone like that, just looking at me. And I'm like full on dressed as Zeppelin, and I had to tweet her back and be like, yeah, I'm not allowed out of the theatre like halfway through a show. I'd probably be fired for that. So, really sorry. She was like, oh, well, I'm only here this afternoon, so can you not just come down? I was like, no, I can't, because I'm at work. This isn't a meet and greet. I'm literally being paid to be at my job right now. And I felt bad for like disappointing her, but at the same time I was like, this is such a weird situation that I don't know how to deal with. I've had some very strange, some very strange interactions. And most of the time I don't get angry about them. I'm just like confused by them. I'm usually just confused by them. There was once, I feel like I'm sharing too much. There was this girl who, I was at Stage Door, Les Mis again. And someone asked me if I could sign their book, and I was halfway through signing it, and someone else came over and said, "Can I get a picture?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, just 1 second. I'm just going to finish signing this, and then I'll get a picture with her, and then I'll be with you." Literally, that was the conversation. So I signed the book, got a picture with this girl, and then was like, "Hi, how are you?" And she was really like super lovely. She gave me a present. It was a cross stitch of Stitch, a cross stitch, and a cross stitch of the Disney character Stitch. And it was so lovely, really sweet. She was really, really nice. Got a picture, and then we left. Or then she left, and then I carried on at Stage Door. And then on my way home, there was a blog post that I was tagged in on Tumblr from this girl saying what a bad experience she'd had meeting me because I'd asked her to wait, and how apparently I was really rude. And I just sat there and my heart sank. And I was like, obviously I feel terrible because this girl's gone away feeling like she's had a really bad experience at Stage Door. But at the same time, I felt like I couldn't have dealt with it any better. Like I couldn't have done anything. And the only explanation I have is that she felt a bit embarrassed because she'd interrupted me talking to someone else. And maybe that wasn't the first impression that she'd wanted to give. And I get that. Because I'd feel exactly the same. If I interrupted someone and that was the first impression they had of me, I'd be like, royally screwed it up. I'd be really annoyed at myself. So I totally get it. But to then make it sound like it was me being rude, because had I just gone, yeah, no worries, and ignored the girl that I was talking to, the girl that I was talking to initially could have then been like, yeah, Carrie was really rude. She was halfway through talking to me and then just walked away and decided to talk to someone else. So, you know, I didn't feel like there was much I could have done differently. There was a really fun one again at Les Mis. I think they were all at Les Mis. When there's a big crowd at Stage Door, and a few of us were out there, and I was taking a picture with someone, and I could see this guy wander over, and I was like, you don't seem like my demographic or Les Mis' demographic, so what are you doing here? And he sort of like wandered over, didn't have a programme, didn't have a ticket, and just sort of was just looking at me, and then was like looking at Rob, and was looking at like other people who were signing programmes, and I was sort of just keeping an eye on him. And then a few more people came over and had a picture, and blah blah blah. Then he was like, Can I get a picture? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I leant in, took a photo, and then he just stood back and didn't like leave. He just stood back into the crowd. And then as I was taking a picture with someone else, I just watched him lean. There was a girl next to him with a Gryffindor scarf, and I remember it so vividly. And he just went, "Who's she?" And I was like, "You just got a picture with me. You just got a picture with me, not knowing who I was, what I was doing here." I just thought that was brilliant. I found that really funny. Why get a picture with me if you don't know who I am? Like, it's just such a weird thing to do. Anyway. Made me laugh. I love people. People make me giggle. I'm just fascinated by people and the decisions we make, and yeah, I find it interesting. And I feel I'm like, yeah, I don't know, I find it interesting. I'm just trying to think of more stories, or I don't know. Like, I find people interesting and I like meeting people. But I feel like not many people understand the difference between going to a meet and greet, because that's like, if I'm like at Summer in the City or a book signing, I am specifically there to say hello and chat and fulfill every request within reason that you have. That's the point of it. It is a meet and greet, and it is a signing. Like, that's specifically why I'm there, and I'm so like prepped for it. I'm so G'd up for it, and it's always great, and I have a great time. But I don't think a lot of people understand that when I'm sat in Starbucks working, or I'm on a train, that's not the same thing. And whilst I will always be happy if someone comes over and says, "Hi, I just wanted to say hello, blah, 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 blah," whatever you want to say, can I get a picture? I will always say, absolutely, of course, no worries, and get a picture. But I'm usually like working, or I'm out doing something, and I have like other things, like I'm just going about my daily life. So I don't have the time to spare in those situations to fulfill everyone's requests or have a half-hour chat. And I find it so difficult to say no to people. And so if someone invites themselves to sit down with me and have coffee with me, I find it really hard to say, "I'm really sorry, but I'm working," because then I fear a blog post being published about how I didn't let that person have coffee with me, or, you know what I mean? Like, because I've had situations where I've been as nice as I possibly can. Thank you, Dan. Very, very sweet of you. Because I've had situations where I've been as nice as I possibly can and felt like I'd handled the situation really well, and then had people react badly to it. I am really scared of that being repeated. I'm then scared of saying I'm really sorry, but I actually have to get a lot of work done, and disappointing someone to the point where they're then... And it shouldn't worry me, because I know I'm never going to be a douchebag to anyone. I know I'm always going to be polite, even if I feel like I'm letting someone down. I'm always going to be like, "I'm really sorry, I love chatting to you, but I really do need to get my work done, but it was lovely to meet you, blah, 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 blah." But I've had like an influx recently, when I've been in like coffee shops or on trains, or specifically, because like usually if I'm just stood in a shop, I've got more reason. I've got less reason to be like, "Sorry, I'm working right now," because I'm not. I'm stood in a shop probably browsing skincare products in Boots, you know what I mean? I've probably got more time to be like, "Hey, how are you? It's really good to meet you, blah, 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 blah." But if I've got my headphones on and I'm like working, I just don't... I've got a deadline to meet. I've got a deadline that I've missed. So I've got sort of more reason to be like, "I'm really sorry, but I have to work." But I don't feel like I can. I find it really hard. But yeah, I've had a recent influx of people sitting down with me and like inviting themselves to sit down with me and have a chat. And the last one was an hour. I hate saying it. My face has gone hot again. But someone sat down recently with me for an hour, and I didn't know what to say, and I literally just sat there with my laptop and my headphones around my neck thinking, I have to write, I have to write, I have to write, I have to work, I have to work, I have to work, and just didn't know what to do. I could feel my heart doing that the whole time, because I was like, I don't want to have a confrontation, but if I don't have a confrontation, if I don't say anything, then I don't know, then I'm not gonna get work done. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. That's gone hot. My face has actually gone hot. Yeah, I need to calm down and my ears will go red again. And there was an incident a few months ago where I was on a train with my brother, and it was the first time I'd seen my brother in maybe like a month. And it was the first time my brother was on his own, like without the kids, so he was able to like sit and actually have a like concentrated conversation with me for like 45 minutes. And I was like, this is amazing, because I never get this kind of time with my brother. So we were sat on the train, and as we got on the train, someone asked us for a photo, and really lovely, and we were like, yeah, of course. And she was like, oh, it's really cool that I've met you together, because that's rare. And it is rare, because me and my brother are like never together in that kind of situation that often. And then we like walked further down the train, and we sat down and we were having a conversation, and then the same girl came over and asked if she could just sit and have a chat, because she didn't know when she was going to get that opportunity again. And I kind of like understood that, but then I was like, I've not seen my brother in a month, and this is like the first time I've got to have like one-on-one time with him. And then as soon as we get to the station the other end, he's got to go home to put his kids to bed and see his kids and do like bedtime and bath time and bedtime. And so then I'm just going to go home. And I couldn't say no. And so I just went, yeah, of course. And then she just sat down opposite us and just asked all the questions that she wanted to ask, which was of course lovely, and she was so sweet, and she was really, really nice. But it was just that thing where I was like, I'm not going to get this time with my brother now. And it's just a real shame. I think I'd ever go on Strictly. I don't think I'd ever be asked to go on Strictly, but if I was, I don't think I could handle the pressure of it. I don't know what this music is, but I'm enjoying it. Just casually playing with a makeup brush. I always order a flat white. It used to be a latte, but then Ollie pushed me on to flat white. Thank you, Jess P. Jess B. Do my rings have meanings or symbolise anything? This one was my Wednesday engagement ring. I had a different one that they gave me at the beginning of the tour, but it turned copper within about 2 weeks and made my finger green. So I just went out and bought myself one at TK Maxx. It was 20 quid. It's done pretty well. You can see that. It's done pretty well, and it's never turned my finger green. Oh, there we go. But it is starting to wear down here, so that bit's getting thinner. So I wear it all the time. This one's my Veronica ring. This one does turn my finger green, but I'm sticking with it. This was just from Topshop, and I bought it to wear on stage for Veronica, because all the girls had rings, all the Heathers had rings, that like their own rings that they just wore during the show, and I was like, I want one. So I went and bought myself a Veronica ring. This one is the oldest ring that I have. It says anything can happen, and then on the inside it says if you let it, but the engraving is sort of fading away now. But I got given this by my parents when I was 14, and my brother has one that's sort of the same, but it's thicker, and his says no worries, which is the name of the first song he wrote, or one of the first songs he wrote. This one, underneath it, this one's really big for me. It just comes straight off, so I put that one on top to stop it from falling off. This one is... I don't really know how to explain this one. These are... Me and Ollie have matching rings. And they are signet rings that say W and L, and there's 2 arrows crossed. And I bought them for his birthday last year before, 2017, because he said that he'd always wanted a signet ring, and he'd bought one in Edinburgh and it turned his finger green within seconds, so he just never really wore it anymore. But he also said that he felt like Lucas should have an engagement ring for the show, because he feels like they're the sort of couple where the boy would have an engagement ring. So I bought these signet rings for the two of us. And then I have this ring, which is my newest ring, which is my big amber ring, which is covered in makeup at the moment. But this is my big amber ring that I got in Brighton, and I put it on Instagram recently, and I wrote a little story about it. I was walking past the shop in Brighton and I saw the ring and I was like, that's my ring, I have to have that ring. That ring is mine. And so I went in and said, can I try on the ring that's in the window? And she said, yeah, but the problem with our amber rings is that they're all one of a kind. So if it doesn't fit, we don't have any more like it. And so I went, give me the ring. Literally went, yeah, I'll take it, thanks. I think this is supposed to be mine. So they are my rings. And I love them all very much. Yeah, I tried the whole nail polish on the ring to stop it from turning your finger green, but when you wear it every day, there's only so long that nail varnish is going to last. I'm being tagged in lots of posts on Instagram. What's this all about? What about that Disney ring? What Disney ring? I haven't seen the new Mary Poppins yet, no. I need to see it. I am going to see it. But I just haven't seen it yet. How are you ever going to read again if you don't like doing it whilst writing? Aren't you always writing a new book? Good question. I am actually reading something at the moment. It's called The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. And I'm very much enjoying it, but I'm just sort of reading it chunk by chunk in small snippets. Oh dear. The red ring from Disney. Red ring from Disney. I don't know what that is. What nail varnish am I wearing? I'm wearing the, what's it called? Moonlight Magic or something like that? Moonlight Magic. It was the Veronica one I used to wear. Because it's sort of like halfway between black and blue. The red ring in a queue for a ride. Red ring in a queue for a ride. I have no idea what that is. Sorry, I don't know what that's about. Oh, Haunted Mansion, as in Madame Leota's ring. Oh yeah, now I know what you're talking about. But what about it? What was the question? Do I wear ears when I'm in Disney? I never had before prior to this last holiday I went on, where me and Celinda bought mini ears, and I had the best time wearing them all the time. So I'll be taking those ears back to Disney every time I go. Favourite perfume? I love Luna by Penhaligon's. I'm starting to get tired. I can feel myself going like that. $20,000 likes. That's insane. I don't think I've ever had that many likes on a live stream before. I think that feels like a lot. I haven't announced that I'm doing anything in 2019 yet. I was about to say 2017. Oh, I do have a couple of things, something, but I can't talk about it yet. So it's one of my weirdest faces, that. Favourite Lush product? I got sent a big box of Lush products today, and I'm thrilled. And they've got it's called American Pie body conditioner, but it's the naked one. Oh, it's gorgeous. Bit thrilled with it. Someone just said they were named after the song Eleanor Rigby. That was the first song I ever sang at my high school in music lesson. But for some, right, what is it with school songs where they make the keys too high for everyone? So the song Eleanor Rigby is like, Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where the wedding has been. Da-da-da-da. But I remember singing it like, Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where the wedding... Like, literally, like, singing it 4 octaves higher than it should have been. Why do school teachers do that? Why do they make it higher than dogs can hear? Right, I'm going to be here for 7 more minutes to make it a lovely round hour. Glinda or Elphaba? Elphaba. I do love Glinda, but Elphaba. So I've gone quiet because I'm just reading all of the questions that are coming in. I love Kinky Boots. I've been to see it twice, I think. Just twice, I think. Maybe 3 times. I haven't seen Jamie yet. I need to see Jamie, as in the musical, not Moscato. I love Dove Cameron, a little bit obsessed with her. Follow her Instagram. She is beautiful, and I can't cope. On my own of 17. On my own, I think. Do you prefer working in the West End or being on tour? Probably West End, just because it means I get to come home to my own bed every night, as opposed to sleeping in strange beds. But I also like touring around the country and seeing cities that I never would have seen had I not been on tour. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I loved Bird Box. I thought Bird Box was great. I love Sandra Bullock. I think she's massively underrated. Again, got pins and needles in my bum. Just gonna shift for a sec. Did Eponine's death ever upset you? It did the first few times, but then you sort of get desensitized to it because you do it 8 times a week for almost 3 years. Let me be here for 3 more minutes. Get your questions in. Would I ever do ensemble in a show? It's a difficult question because I have no issues with being part of an ensemble in a show. When you're in Les Mis, you are always going, like, no matter what part you play. When I was Eponine, she's part of the ensemble before Eponine appears, and same with Thénardier, Madame Thénardier, Enjolras, Marius, Eponine, Cosette, and then Fantine. After she dies, Fantine becomes ensemble, because when Fantine's being Fantine, all of the characters that I listed before are all ensemble, and then Fantine dies, and then all of the people who were ensemble before then are their characters, and Fantine then becomes ensemble. So I have no qualms with being in the ensemble. I love being in the ensemble. It's really nice, especially in a show like Les Mis, to like hide in the background before you go on. But the thing with theatre is that if you're a principal and you want to continue playing principal roles, it's not usually a good idea to accept ensemble in something. Or I mean, you never usually audition for ensemble in something, because then you tend to get stuck. And I mean stuck for, like, because being on the ensemble is an integral part of a show. But if you are seeking lead roles, and then you've been a lead and then you go to ensemble, people see it as taking a step back, because sometimes you then only ever then get seen for ensemble roles, principal roles. So you sort of get stuck in only ever being seen as ensemble by producers and directors. So if you want to play leads and continue playing leads, then it's never usually a good idea to go up for ensemble. That's, like, from my experience and from how I've seen other people's careers go. But at the same time, everyone needs to work. So if you're not being seen for leads and the only things that you're being offered are ensemble, sometimes you just have to take it because you need to work, and being in a show is better than not being in a show. So everyone's situation's different. Right, one more question and then I'm going. Thank you, C. Bonowen. Thank you. Okay, one more question. Do I ever look at fan accounts? If I'm tagged in stuff and it like pops up on my phone, you've been tagged in a picture on Instagram, then yes, I do. Right, I'm gonna go because I need to do some more writing and I need to pack a bag because I'm going to Wolverhampton tomorrow and then all that jazz. Thank you very much for joining me this evening and lots of love. Bye!